I'm going to share my screen and run you through the program details. Okay. This is a camp called as Camp Skandagiri, and this is how the camp is going to look like. These are all the tents that are there for the children, and there's another row of tents to this side as well. And this is where children would be staying for the 6 days of duration. And every day they step out for their respective activities, and then they come back by lunchtime. And when it comes to the program design, this is a program for a 12 to 14-year-old children. And here the main idea of our programs is to get the children out of their comfort zones and where they try out a different set of an outdoor activities and a camp-based activities and try to learn some life skills in this entire journey that they are there on the campus. And when it comes to an activities, there are two activities that children would be doing. One of them is called as ropes course, and the second one is called as an outdoor survival. And out of this, for 6 day program. The first and the last day is mostly about going to be introduction to program travel, and we kind of divide the children into a smaller groups. Example, in this particular batch, we might divide them into two groups, or we might run it as a one single group itself. Whether currently we have around 24 children who have registered for the program, 25. And we have children coming from Kolkata, Bombay, Bangalore, and Chennai, and multiple other locations as well. And there are some children who are traveling to Bangalore airport, and some would be reporting at the Bangalore city itself. And when it comes to the design of a program, and out of the 6 days, the 4 days are the core activity days, and where they do 2 days of ropes course and 2 days of outdoor survival. And in terms of a ropes course as an activity, this is a bunch of elements that are built using ropes, where for the children of younger ones, we get them introduced to a low ropes course as an activity, which are generally like 3 or 5 feet above the ground. And for the elder kids of 12 to 14, we introduce them to a high ropes course as well. So out of the 2 days, the first day they do low ropes course as an activities, and the second day, once they get the hang of the activity, it's kind of a team building activity where they learn about spotting techniques and working together as a group. And once they get the hang of it, the second day they're introduced to a higher ropes course elements. Example, there is a friendship ladder, which is like a ladder of 50 feet, 60 feet in tall, where the children have to help each other. Two of them would start the activity. They'll have to support each other, and then they'll have to reach all the way up. That's called friendship ladder. And the second one is a zip line. So there are a bunch of activities that are lined up for them in that 2 days. And the rest of the 2 days, they do participate in outdoor survival as an activity, which is a trek based. But it mainly concentrates on survival skills in the wilderness. Example, in a general environment, when you go for a night out, you carry a tent with you, right? But in case if you don't have a tent with you during that time, how do you still survive? So if you have a poncho, how do you use that poncho as a shelter? Or if you have a tarp and a rope, how do you build that entire shelter? Like that, there are different ways to build it in a different environmental conditions. There are different example. If it's a rainy condition, there's something that children learn it, which is a different structure. If it is too windy, then they learn a different structure like that. And out of this 2 days, they the first day they go for a trek, and then they understand about flora and fauna. They understand about fire making and building the shelters and the different ways of trekking in a mountain and all of it. And for the second day, they go for a night out, meaning from the campus, they trek to a different place, and then they will camp out there. Over there, they'll have to build the shelters, they will have to cook their own food and sleep in the wilderness. And all of this would be done under the guidance of an instructor, and they would return back to the campus the next day morning. And don't want to spoil much about the night out suspense, and want to keep them a little bit exciting for the kids when they reach also. But it's going to be a fun day for them in the wilderness, and where that's one of the highlights of a program for the children when it comes to an experience for the first time. Spending a night in the wilderness is a big thing, right? So that's pretty exciting. And apart from that, there's a lot of camp-based activities that they would also participate in, where for this particular age group, we kind of revolve around team building as an activity, and there are strategic games that they would be playing. And we also want them to realize what's happening in these activities, not just doing it as a fun activity, but also in the evenings, we sit together in that small activity groups, and then we discuss about how was an activity and what happened in that particular game, the strategy behind it. So making them realize that what went in that, like in terms of a teamwork, right? And how important it is for them to be a part of the team and collaborate and everything. That's the one of the main things that we work with this specific age group of 12 to 14. And when it comes to the camp, this is newly built camp, been a couple of years for us, and it's been having non-stop groups in the program where it has got a capacity of 90. There is, at the same time, we also have a younger children camp running, where they would probably see each other during the meal times and everything, and for the rest of the some of the game times. But majorly, the both the groups would be separated in their own activity groups, and then they continue with their own activities, and they stay in a different tents, like in the same tents. But example, 12 to 14-year-old children would stay together, and the 9 to 11 stay in their own respective tents. And accommodation is separate for boys and girls. And all the tents have got an attached washrooms to it. And each tent can accommodate around 6 to 7 children per tent. And they have a proper, one is a toilet block, and another one is a washroom and the toilet with the hot water facility as well. And apart from that, in terms of a travel, as I said, we have got children traveling from multiple locations. And for the children who are reporting at the Bangalore departure point, we should be having all the details. But in case if we don't have any details like flight details or any other information that we require for the children travel, we will connect with you. And the location that we have mentioned here, which is Ganesh Temple, this might not be the exact one. We will send out another message around the 20th or so, and just to give you confirmation on the location and the timing for the people who are reporting in Bangalore. And for the children who are traveling from outstation, like Kolkata and other places, then we will let you know who's the person picking up the children in the Bangalore airport, and with the location, with the contact number and the timing as well. So once we will have children flight details, and our team would be there to receive the children. And once we receive them, we will keep you informed that we have received so and so children. And all this communication to you would be coming in a WhatsApp channel. Okay. I hope all of you have followed the WhatsApp channel. In case if you haven't, I'll take a minute and then explain this process. This is not a WhatsApp group or anything. This is more of a WhatsApp channel where it'll be a one-way communication from our end. And I'm just going to mention this name. This is a number that you have received this orientation text from. You can just take out your mobiles or laptop, wherever you are using the WhatsApp, type down this number. It's 74283 96351. That's the mobile number you would have received this orientation message. I'm going to repeat the number: 74283 96351. And once you type this number, you would have received this orientation message. And apart from the reminder one, that previous two messages would have had a WhatsApp channel link in the message. Okay. One of my colleague, Michael, has put the channel also in the chat. If you want, you can just copy that and or probably click on it. It'll take you to the WhatsApp directly. And in the top right corner, there is an option for you to follow this. You'll have to follow the channel. And in case if you have not, if you're not seeing the follow as an option, it means that you're already following it. And there's also a bell icon for you to enable the notifications. So all our communication about the departures, about program updates, and information, anything about the children will come to you in this particular channel itself. Okay. And once we receive the children, we will let you know that in the group that we have received so and so children. And generally, we are expected to leave the airport around 11:15 or so, and they would be reaching the campus by lunchtime. And the first day, it's going to be more of a introduction to the team. There's a short brief given to the children, and the tent allocation and all of that would happen. In case if there are friends who are traveling together, and if they want to be in the same tent of the same gender, absolutely fine. We give that choice to children itself to choose their tent mates. And ideally, we want you to mingle with the rest of the children also, not just to stick to your own group as well, right? And in case if you're dividing the group into two smaller groups of 15 or so, then in that we will not give you a choice, because everybody does all the activities. So the idea is that we want you to be friends with other kids as well that you don't know of, right? So we will randomly divide you guys into that smaller group. If it is in the same group, you're still lucky. You can be with your friends and participate in these activities as well. And we'll also do something called as an expectation setting in the evening, where we discuss what are the expectations that children are expecting from the camp, and what are things that they want to do. And in case if we are missing out anything, if there is something that we can introduce into the program, we'll try to do that. And from the next day, we start with the activity part. And when it comes to accommodation, as I said, each tent can accommodate around 6 to 7 children per tent. And I'm just going to show that picture again. These are the tents that I'm talking about. There's around 9 tents in this row, and there are another 6 tents in this side, which you can't generally see. But they all have an attached washroom as well. And when it comes to a safety, this is a no compromise in our programs, which is the main thing that we look at whenever we design a program around the children. And we have a great ratio of instructor to children. This is our own campsite, and we have a doctor on the campus also. And apart from our core team, there's also a campus manager who looks after logistics, there's kitchen staff, and everybody. But we generally talk about the instructor ratio, which is of 6:1, meaning for every 6 children, there's an instructor on the campus. This is a combination of male and female instructors. It doesn't mean that one instructor would make a group of 6 and then look after them itself. If there are 25 children in the group, there would be a minimum of 4 instructors in the group, which is a combination of male and female instructors. And apart from that, they're properly well trained in the programs. There are technical instructors, there are soft skill instructors, and they don't randomly come to us on a programs. So basically, anything with related to the instructor part, we mostly go through it as a referral itself. And we have been in the industry from past 27 years. So we have, and it's also a small industry of outdoors, right? And we pretty much know a lot of people working in outdoors, and some of our instructors are instructors in a mountaineering institutes. Like these are something that are run by the government, like a army, where they train people for outdoors. Like there are month-long duration courses that they have to go through, and they get trained there. And then after that, they would attend one of our training sessions, which are in-house training sessions. And over there, we discuss about multiple things. There are a few extra layers of safeties that we add into the outdoor part of it. And apart from that, there is also a soft skill part of it, where how do you communicate with the children, and what are the ways that you can communicate, and good touch, bad touch. And we do a role plays. Like example, I'm a fussy eater and I don't eat well on the campus. How do you deal with these, right? So these are all some of the things that we train the instructors to handle children. And apart from, we have a emergency vehicle also on the campus, and we have right from a basic medication till a nebulizer set up on a camp. And in case if it requires that we need to go to a medical facility for any different reason, we will definitely get in touch with the parents and we'll inform you well in advance, and we'll take the necessary steps. But the vehicle is there on the campus 24/7. And when it comes to food, we have a 7 meal arranged for the children. Right from the time that they get up around 6:30, they'll have their first meal, which is milk. They can have it with the hot chocolate, bone meat, or whatever they wish to have, and along with some biscuits and rusk or something like that. Right. And apart from that, we will also starting our major meals, which is like lunch, breakfast, and dinner, would be like a buffet system where there are ample amount of options for the children to choose. Example, on a breakfast, a common thing every day would be bread, butter, jam, cornflakes, milk, eggs as a base. But every day the main dishes keep changing. One day it might be South Indian, which is idli vadas, or some days it might be pancakes, or some days it might be chole bhature, like that, where they have different options for them. And for every 2, 3 hours, they're well fed on the program. And we do not recommend children carrying any snacks, because we don't want them to have a snack and skip a major meal, because the kind of energy that they spend on the program is quite high. These are not something that they do it on a regular daily basis, right? So they need to consume a proper nutritious meal. And apart from this, the preparation for the program, this is something that we recommend for anybody who is coming to the program. And we also understand these days kids are into a lot of physical fitness or games, sports, what they keep doing it on a daily basis. But the idea is that to do any sort of a physical exercise for at least for 30 to 40 minutes, like 15 days or 1 month before the program, so that you gain a little bit of flexibility and you build that strength. Because some of the things that they're going to do on the program are not really something that they do it on a daily basis. The idea is also to challenge them, but to enjoy the program and make it more memorable, it'll be better if children are used to a little bit of physical fitness on a daily basis. And we still have another 10 days to go. In case if you haven't started, please start this and do it for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, pick up a game that you like and then do it. And this is a daily schedule on a program where there are different activities that they keep doing it on a different days. But this is a general structure of their daily schedule is going to be, where they start at 6:30 in the morning, and after that we do warm-up sessions around 7, and 8 o'clock is our breakfast, and 9 is when they step out of an activity depending on the activity. Ropes course setup is in the campus itself, whereas for an outdoor survival, they step out of a camp, they go for a trek, and then they finish the trek and then come back. But mostly from 1 to 3 is the break time for children. Every day children will be back to campus by at around 12:30 or 1 o'clock. And this 2 hours is for them to relax, have lunch. And we do not recommend children taking bath in the morning. And they'll have to be done in the afternoon itself. And after that, they would be from 3 to 6 or 3 to 5:30, they would be engaged in strategy games or a team building kind of an activities. And 6 to 8 would be a fun time on a camp where these are talent shows or minute-to-minute games, something like that. And 8 o'clock is a dinner and 9:30 is a light. So this is a general day on a program looks like. But in terms of an activities, as I said, it keeps changing. And all the days children are on the camp except for one day, which is the night out part. Okay. And apart from this, there are a few other things that I want to discuss. One is about the program itself, where this is not a luxury program. The idea is to get the children out of the comfort zone, so don't expect any room service or anything like that. So, but in case of a feel hungry, please speak to an instructor. We'll make sure that we'll get you something in case of a feel hungry. But nobody generally goes hungry because there are instructors who are looking after children, making sure that they're eating well. But at any point of time, if they feel it, please ask for an instructor. And there is a couple of other things. One is about no bullying on a camp. We are pretty strict about it. The idea is that we want children to be come to camp and have fun and then learn something, not to bully each other or have a bad experience, right? And in fact, we did send few children back a couple of years back in one of our programs as well. And at any point of time, there are instructors with the children, either in the morning or during an activity time or game time. There are some people who are always allocated to look after children, even if it is a game time on a camp, right? But there are sometimes there is no adult who is with the children in the tent, but they're in a visible distance. Like example, in that one row that I mentioned about, there could be one of a male instructor tent there, or there would be a female instructor tent there, right? So in case every tent in charge also will have every tent will have a tent in charge, which is one of an instructor. So girls will have a female instructor, boys will have a male instructor. But in case if there is any point of time that children face an issue, right? So if you see that there's a particular child who's trying to pick up on you or trying to initiate a fight or is trying to make you uncomfortable or anything, just come and speak up to an instructor. We'll make sure that we will resolve that issue and then make you comfortable, because we will not be inside the tent, and generally it doesn't happen. But worst case scenarios, whenever you see this happening, right? So please just speak up about it, and we'll make sure that you will not have a bad experience in a camp. And the communication protocol, as you all know, this is a no gadget program where there won't be any sort of a mobile phone, smart watches, music players, or any sort of that on the program. The idea is to get the children away from this entire digital gadget space and make them be in the wilderness and get them out of their comfort zones, make buddies and talk to people in real life, have a good experience. That's the whole idea of it. At the same time, we also want to make them realize that there's a whole lot of world apart from the digital world, and try to experience things, try to understand your own potential and be more independent and work together as a team. These are some of the things that we want the children to pick up. Hence, from the day that we started program, this has been one of our philosophies, that we will not have gadgets on the program. And but every day we will keep you updated. There are text updates that we will send you. The channel that I mentioned about, there would be daily updates. There is a morning update around 11 o'clock and an evening update around 6 o'clock. These are text updates where it will talk about what activity the children have done and what's the general atmosphere on the campus looks like. And we will also try to post some 15 to 20 pictures on a daily basis. And these are mostly a group pictures. These are not of specific activity pictures. We will try to click as much as possible, but the primary role of an instructor is to make sure that children are safe and they are engaged, not to take pictures. But we will try to cover as much as possible, and we will share it in the evening. And just in case, if you see that if you can't find your child in any of a picture on that specific day, sometimes it happens, I would say not to worry at all. If there is anything that we need to inform, we will definitely give you a call. We are pretty transparent into that. Okay. When I'm talking about communication again, if the children are unwell, like if they have got stomach ache or headaches or very light fever, we may not give you a call. Okay. But in case if the children are running on a high fever, which is above 100, or if we have to give an antibiotic, or if we have to know any medical history of a child, we will definitely give you a call and take your inputs, and based on that, we will take our next steps. But ideally, as long as you don't get a call from us, imagine the things are going absolutely fine. We go with this line call as no news is always good news, right? And we'll make sure that they have a great experience in a camp. They're safe all the time and engaged, right? But I would not say that don't worry too much about the pictures. We'll try to cover as much as possible. And apart from this, no tuck on a camp. Okay, so if there are children who would wish to carry some snack for a travel, absolutely fine. I understand a lot of kids are traveling via flights, so please do carry some if you want. And when you reach the campus, if you have anything left, we will ask you to deposit with us, and then we will safekeep it and we will give it back to you on the last day, and which you can take it back for your travel. And apart from this, we do not recommend you to keep it inside your tent. Don't sneak in any food. Don't keep it in your bags because you're staying in the wilderness. And when you open these packets in the wilderness, there's a lot of things in the wilderness like bugs, ants, and things like that. We would like to have those munchies as well, right? So they'll all start coming inside your tent, and there are things that will follow to eat these smaller ones, right? So the entire life cycle of this wilderness in Skandagiri will be inside your tent. I'm sure it won't be any comfortable stay for you. So just make sure that you take all of this, deposit with us, and we will safekeep it and return it to you on the last day. And this is the kit list for the program, and where the idea is to make sure that children are comfortable all the time and not having any gear kind of an issues, because there are some things that we have mentioned here, which is like raincoats, warm layers. These are something that we mentioned for our summer programs as well, where whatever the condition of a weather, because mostly in the wilderness, you can't really predict the weather. I've been in multiple programs where there's raining in the next mountain, it's not in us, right? So we have seen so many scenarios like that. So we wanted to be well prepared to whatever the weather conditions are. Hence, we have designed this kit list. Do not underpack it or don't overpack it as well, because children will carry this rucksack for the travel. And this is what they will carry for the entire 6 days of duration. There are some basic clothing, which is 5 to 6 pairs of t-shirts and shorts, track pants. Track pants is something that we ask the children to wear in the morning time whenever they're stepping out for an activity. And apart from this, we do not recommend them to uh, wear the shorts during the morning time and evening. During this time of year in Skandagiri, it gets quite chilly in the evening. It's better there in a full pants and with the warm layer. And we have mentioned enough number of warm layers here itself, right? You can check out this section, which is about sweatshirts and warm cap. Again, I would recommend to carry it for the Skandagiri camp. Evening, as I said, it's going to be a little chilly. And in case if it rains, it's in the mornings, it's going to be quite cold. And thermals is again something as a recommendation, which is a precaution from our end. And pretty much everything else is something that we recommend. And a couple of important things. One is the shade, the cap that they wear. And that is important that they need to wear it during the morning time whenever they step out for a camp activity time. And for the rest of the time, it's pretty much not required. And other items, personal toiletries, please make sure that you are carrying sunscreen and moisturizer or cold cream, whatever you are used to, and a mosquito repellent for sure. And the rest of them, which is your toothbrush, soaps, whatever you're comfortable with, please carry those. And do not carry perfumes. I would not recommend it, because especially for boys, when you don't take bath, you put a lot of them on it. And when you're in the wilderness, there are bees and things like that will start following you because of a fragrance. So avoid that. Okay. But please make sure that you take bath on everyday basis. And a pair of sunglasses and a torch or a headlamp. Kids who are flying into the program, please make sure that you are keeping this torch batteries in your cabin bag, not in your check-in bag. Check-in bag is your bigger bag that you carry. So do not put any sort of a batteries in it. You'll have to take this in your small backpack that you carry inside the flight, which is called as cabin bag. Okay. And if you want, please make a note of that as well. And in terms of medication, as I said, we have a doctor on the campus. We have right from a basic medication till a nebulizer setup. But in case if there are children who are used to taking daily medications, okay, please do, parents, please to send a Ziploc pouch where the medication is present and a small note on what is the dosage and what the timing that they need to have, one, what is it taken for. These are something that please mention in that and give it to the children. Once they're on the campus, the doctor will have a look at it. And we do not want children to self-medicate themselves and not to give a medication to their friends as well. Okay, there might be different conditions that the child is unwell on a specific day. So please do not pass on that medication to your friend and say that, okay, take this. they'll have to come and speak to an instructor and a doctor, and under the guidance of a doctor, you'll need to take a medication. And extra pairs of glasses, if there is anybody who is using power glasses, please do carry an extra pair of it. And a minimum of 750 ml of water bottle. Do not carry anything that has got a glass liner to it, and carry a metal one or a hard plastic one, that also works, but a minimum of like 750 ml. If it's 1 liter, it's better. And footwear, any comfortable shoes with a rubber sole. Like if you have a trek shoe, it's fine, or if you have a sports shoe, it's also fine. But please make sure that it is having a good grip. Okay. And apart from this, you need to carry the sandals, the image that is shown here, which need to have your ankle support. Do not carry your Crocs or flip-flops or sandal. I mean, the other ones like that, where we have had injuries because of these, where when you're running around in the campus, you don't have a good grip because it's outdoors, it's not a city environment, right? So please make sure that you're carrying your sandals. And whatever we have mentioned here in the kit list, all of this has to be carried in a rucksack, which is the orange one here, or a duffel bag here. Okay. And do not carry a suitcase or a trolleys, because these are not something that you use in the wilderness. You'll have to literally carry it. And when you're sharing a tent with 6 other kids, it becomes difficult for you to manage this entire thing, right? So rucksacks are the most comfortable. Ideally, if you want to carry one, a 50 or a 60 liter is something that we recommend, and duffel bag again of a similar capacity. And these are something that you put your all the stuff inside that, and this rucksack stays in your tent itself. You don't take this on a daily basis. Okay. Apart from this, you carry a small day pack, which is like a 10 liter or a 20 liter day pack. And this is something that you carry on a daily basis, where you put your water bottle, cap, raincoat, whatever is required. Right. And that is something that you use on a daily basis. And for the uh, thank you. Apart from this, whenever you're traveling, right? So please make sure you put your ID cards. And when I'm talking about ID cards, make sure that you're carrying your original IDs, not as Xerox copies. These days, we are facing an issue at multiple airports. So make sure that you're carrying your ID card, which is your original ones. And apart from that, whenever you are traveling for the taking a flight, you'll have to carry a small pouch, where that pouch needs to have your name on it. And that pouch is used to keep all your electronics once you have reached. So when you reach the Bangalore airport, we will ask you to hand over all the gadgets that you have, your mobile phones, smartwatches, power banks, chargers, and everything. And make sure that you're keeping that ID card also in that itself, so that we can safe keep it. And parents, please do make sure that you're sending a hard copy of a ticket. Don't entirely depend on the PDFs or e-boarding passes that you're sending for the children on a mobile. There might be multiple scenarios that their phones might be switched off, or the screen is broken. There are unnecessary issues with it, right? So please make sure that you send this hard copy with them. And all of this, you pack it in your pouch and then hand it over to us. We will safekeep it and return it back to you once you're back in the Bangalore airport on 30th. Okay. And also put your medications in that smaller backpack itself. So that is something that you carry. And sleeping bag, this is something that we recommend every child who's coming into an outdoors to get one. In case if you don't have it, if you're planning to get a new one, you can find it in Decathlon or Wildcraft, any of the outdoor stores. This is the temperature that it requires, which is 10 degrees. Okay. And apart from this, in case if you're not carrying your sleeping bag to the program, absolutely fine. We will provide it. But the ones that we provide are not like a brand new ones. They're being used by the children in the previous programs, but they're well maintained, sanitized, and we keep it clean all the time. And we will provide it to you on the campus. You don't have to give a list of names now or inform any of us for a sleeping bag. This is very common. We have plenty of them on the campus. Once you reach the campus, generally an instructor would check with the children if they need a sleeping bag, then we will provide it to them. And apart from that, a neck pillow, sorry, the inflatable pillow, if you're used to having a pillow at home and you can't sleep without it, please to carry an inflatable one. Okay, and limited money. This is again for the children who are starting from Bangalore, doesn't require anything with them, because we take care of everything for children. And on the last day, there's a small merch store that we open. So if they want to buy a keychain or a t-shirt or something like that, they can still buy it. Nothing more than 2,000 is required for them. And for the children who are traveling taking flights basically, please make sure that you're carrying some cash. And again, parents, do send them a hard cash, not like a GPay or anything. Again, you can do that also with card, or I would recommend at least send some emergency hard cash with them. And please do book their meals also on the flights. We don't want the children running around in the airports trying to figure out their favorite meal. It happens on the last day once they're on the campus for 7 days and wanted to look for everything else in the airport, want to grab a favorite burger or things like that. But ideally, something we would not recommend, because we had a couple of people last time who missed out on a flight because of this. Right? So please book their meals as well. And no expensive items on the program. As I said, the gadgets is something that we will ask the children to hand over. And apart from this, they can, if they want, they can carry a small camera with them. Again, not mandatory, but children who are interested to take pictures, please, sure, you can carry one. And again, I would not recommend sending a DSLR or a GoPro as such. Please do send them like a small point and shoot also works. And apart from that, we take a bunch of photos and we'll keep sharing that with you on the channel. If you're planning to get anything merch from the store, you can just click on this link. And since the children are registered, you're eligible for a 10% discount, and you can copy this link and buy it from there. This is pretty much about the program. And in case if you have any questions, I can take them. There's an option for you to raise the hands in the reactions. You can raise your hand and we can go one by one. Sheetal ma'am, yes. Sheetal ma'am, you have a question?
Yeah. So the night that they'll be camping outside, they will take their small bag and pack on that.
No. So what for the night out, what we do is Inme will provide them a different rucksack, because for the night out, they'll have to share a lot of material between the children, right?
Right.
So generally children, the rucksack that they carry are of different sizes and we don't want them to get dirty also. So we will provide a different rucksacks for the children and we will allocate some ration amongst each them.
Okay. And how far is this site from
Uh, Generally, these are accessible by a vehicle in 15 minutes or 10 minutes, but we take them the longer route. We want
Yeah.
them to go for a longer trek and then reach these places.
Okay. And it's all within your campus and safe.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the wilderness, but these are again like a properly recceed night out zones where we keep doing it very often here. And even before a program that we start, every program before we just do a small recce and then check things also. And we are also well connected with the local villages over there in case if we see that any abnormal activity, we get to know before it's.
All right. Thanks.
Most welcome. Manat? Okay. Tejas, you have a question?
No, we are good. Asked all the questions on the chat.
Okay.
Is there a way that, I mean, is there somebody going to be at the Bangalore airport to just direct the kids? Because this is the first time he's taking a flight by himself, but he's 13, so he's not, I don't think he's eligible for somebody to assist him.
I understand, ma'am, but
how will he know, I mean,
okay.
to get to the gate on time or, all that?
So when you're saying Bangalore airport, you're talking about the return?
Return, yeah.
Of course. I mean, there will be our team when we are dropping the children at the airport also. We'll make sure that we are there at the security once they're done with that basic security inside. Till that time, we'll wait. And we'll also, in case if they need help, we will also share one of our person who is dropping the children, their contact number. We generally wait there for half an hour or so. In case if they face any issue, we'll try to assist that.
Okay, so in case they miss their flight or something happens, then there's somebody still waiting there at the Bangalore airport to assist them?
As I said, we generally wait for around half an hour, right? But the idea is also that we drop the kids at least 2 hours before. Like we give a 2.5 hours before, like a buffer time for them, so that they can do this entire process pretty smooth.
Okay, and do they get a chance to recharge their phones, before leaving for the airport?
No, ma'am. So that's why we are asking them to carry a power bank. And please do tell the children also not to consume that entire battery in the first onward journey itself. They need to once they carry a power bank, the states for a 10 days minimum. We have done this in the North programs as well. With the power bank, they're good to go.
Okay, great. Thank you.
No problem. Arya?
Do we get to choose our activities, or are they like given to us?
No, there is only 2 activities in the program. So there's no
Okay.
choice between the activities. You get to do all of them. Michael, is there any question?
Can you,
Yeah.
sorry, can you share a little more on the camp? So I've understood the camp and the tent and all of that, but you said they'll do a night out elsewhere, right? One night will be elsewhere. They'll probably set up their own. What are the facilities there? I mean, what is there's a washroom there. Do they need to, make a smaller bag for that visit alone? So should there be another bag?
Understand. So for a night out, what happens is we will also teach children how to pack a backpack. Okay, so there are some principles when you pack a backpack, and then we teach the children as a part of an outdoor survival activity. And in for the night out, what we do is we'll give them a brief. Like example, when you're going for a night out, there is going to be a cooking team, there's a shelter making team, bunch of things that we would assign the roles for them. And then we will also tell them what are things that they need to carry. Example, for that night out, we will ask them to carry one pair of clothes, and we'll ask them to carry their toiletries, and we'll ask them to carry a raincoat for that. Okay, these are and sleeping bag. These are the personal items. And apart from this, there are some utensils or there's some ration that we carry that is spread across the entire group. But for this, we will give a rucksack from the campus, like Inme rucksacks, we will give it to them. So they don't have to carry their bigger rucksack that they carry from home. So they take only the things that is required for the night out and then put it in the Inme rucksack.
Okay, this is super clear. So now then we have to get them that really big camping bag, that 50, 60 liter one, and a very small bag in which their water bottle, cap, goggles,
Absolutely.
a napkin, and
Absolutely.
medication can carry. It's like a small
Yeah,
decathlon bag. And then
exactly.
a big, that's all they need to carry.
Sorry, ma'am, I lost you in the
Okay,
last 5 seconds.
got it.
Ma'am, I'm guessing this.
No, no, no. So yeah, got it. So they just need to carry a real.
Ma'am, take a minute. I guess there's a bad network at your end. I haven't really understood the question.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just saying that need to carry exactly 2 bags. One is the smaller bag, day bag, for water bottle, cap, goggles, spare spectacles, and a small napkin or whatever. And then the really big 50, 60 liter bag in which everything goes, right?
Absolutely. Correct. Yes.
Oh,
And
yeah.
just to answer your question about the night out facilities, right? So where the entire thing, it's not on a fixed camping site or anything. It's in the wilderness. Okay. So children will learn how to survive in the wilderness. There's no properly constructed washrooms for the night out. But what we do is we'll teach children about how to pitch a toilet tent, which is a portable one, where children have to dig in with a shovel and then they do their business and then cover it back with the mud. So that is something that's the most sustainable thing that you need to do in the wilderness. So there's no proper constructed washrooms over there. But on the campus, when they're there for the rest of the days, there are proper facilities, there's uh, with hot waters and everything.
Got it. Got it.
Cool.
And the duration of this smaller camp will be, I mean, the night out will be from like what, 6 p.m. to next day 10 a.m., right?
So we try to be there before the sun goes down. Probably we'll leave post lunch or something. Or it could be that they're leaving in the morning itself where they're going for a longer trek. So that entirely depends on the instructor call.
Okay. Is it possible to have some sort of a connect with the instructor of my child's crew?
Okay, so we will not share any instructors or a person who is present on the camp, their contact details. Okay, just to give you a brief, as I said, apart from this 12 to 14-year-old batch, I also have a 9 to 11-year-old where there's 54 kids in the same camp. Okay, and managing 80 kids, 85 kids is not really an easy one. And generally speaking, the role of an instructor is to engage them and make sure that they're safe and learning something. where we will take care of the front end part of it, where we will address all the questions for the parents, where we are well connected with the camp also. The only reason why we don't want to share the contact numbers is that even though the entire program is going fine, you can see pictures, you see updates and everything, but there's one parental instinct that you want to give a call to the instructor and check how the kid is doing, right? And for them, it could be during an activity time, they have to step out, answer your calls, and then come back and engage with children. There's a lot of disconnect that happens, right? So that's the reason that we don't want to. But rest assured, we will also have our program manager. There's Vinita Banka, who is the program manager. And we will share her contact number closer to the date. In case if you have any questions or information that you need, mostly you will get it from the channel itself. But if there is something else that you need, any emergencies, you can connect with her also. She'll be the single point of contact.
Okay, understand. Thanks.
Manath, do you have a question?
Like, can you carry speakers?
Sorry?
Are you allowed to carry like speakers?
No, what are we going to do in the wilderness with the speakers? Right. So, I mean, we all sing, there's musical instruments, there's guitar and keyboard and bunch of other things on the camp. So you make a band and then you entertain the rest of the kids, but we don't use anything like a digital. There is a speaker in the campus, but we use it only for announcements and things like that, not to play music in the evenings. Do we have any more questions? Okay, in case if there is no more questions, I'm just going to repeat the next follow-up steps from our end. We will share this recording with you in the WhatsApp channel. As I said, please do follow that channel. All the updates are going to be in that, all the departure details. So please don't miss out on any of them. And departure timings, we will announce it on 20th of December in the channel. So please do stick to that. And apart from that, 2 days before, which is on 23rd, we're going to send out another message on our WhatsApp. This is about the departure. Example, the coordinator's number who will be receiving the children at the Bangalore airport. And once we receive them, we will let you know. And there's some small instructions also from our end about carrying a water bottle or having a name tag to your bags that you're going to carry. Some instructions that will mention it. And after that, all the communication would come to you in the WhatsApp channel itself. Once we reach the campus, we're going to send out a message that we have reached the campus. And we will tell you the next steps. We'll reiterate on this updates part, what timings and all of that. And the arrival details, whenever we are dropping children back at the airport, all these messages will flow to you in the WhatsApp channel itself.
Well, there's a request to send the WhatsApp channel link. Can we just send it to all the parents again once?
Sure, not an issue. We'll send that as a separate message to you guys on WhatsApp again after this orientation. If there are no more questions, feel free to log off. Thank you all for joining the orientation. Have a great day.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Will there be like different buses?
Yeah, so there are most of the kids for the program are coming from the Bangalore airport. So you will have like a different buses. So if I'm not wrong, there should be at least 2 buses, which is again for younger children and you guys.
Okay. And my second question is that like, will we be allowed to use our phones?
So where are you coming? Are you from Bangalore? Are you from Kolkata?
I'm from Mumbai.
Mumbai,
Oh,
okay.
I'm joining
So what
from, yeah,
happens
like I'm
is,
joining from Bangalore.
cool, I get, but you're flying into the program, right? From Bombay?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you can do is you can carry your phone till you reach the Bangalore airport. And once you're at the Bangalore airport with the Inme team, we will ask you to hand over the phone with us. Okay. And we will give it back to you only on the last day. In the meanwhile, we do not, you will not be having any sort of a gadgets with you. In case if we
Okay.
find it on a camp, we're going to keep it as a donation. So,
Yeah. Okay.
cool.
Subbu, I've shared the link in the group again. I mean, in the chat box again. So if
Cool.
anybody wants to, they can look at it.
Sure. Thanks, Michael.
Hi. I
Hi,
have a
ma'am.
very quick question that since I'll be leaving him at the Kolkata airport, so will there be anyone to pick him up? Because we are, obviously we are not going inside. or something like that.
Understand. So currently there is a escort that we are looking at from Kolkata because there's a bigger group coming with the younger children. So some of the elder kids or parents have requested for it. So have you opted for that escort?
Yes, we have.
Okay, then we would be sharing the escort details to you on the WhatsApp channel like 2 days before, or we'll send out this information on a personal chat because there are kids from multiple locations who are coming. We don't want to confuse them. We'll probably
Okay.
send out to you on a WhatsApp, and there would be some person receiving you at the Kolkata airport and taking the handover of the children from there and then helping out through them the entire process. Yes, Lou?
Miss Sunita, sorry, I'm going to interrupt. Vinita has made a group for you guys already, I believe, right? And she'll be posting all this on that group also.
Okay, I didn't know that. I'll just check on her.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Can you
So,
tell me the child name up so that we can ask Vinita
Um,
to add you into that?
Arnav Tibrewal. Arnav Tibrewal.
Arnav. Okay.
yeah.
Thank you. We
Thank
will
you.
connect after this orientation.
Sure.
Any more questions?
I think we're good.
Okay. So have a great day, and we'll see the kids at the departure. I'm gonna end the meeting.